and welcome to CMR TV. My name is Tamsin D.P. Weinstein, and I'm going to be bringing you the AI way. Each week I'll be telling you about the latest developments in the world of AI. Whether you're using it in the boardroom or just want to learn about how to use AI at home, there's something for everyone. I'll be interviewing global leaders who are using AI to change the world, but also local people who are using it in their daily life. Let's dive in together and ride the AI wave.
Quantitative data analysis. So we all have data, right? Any tool you use, whether it's customer service or marketing or sales or accounting or whatever, will allow you to export CSV files. But making sense in them is not that easy. And yet, you can now drop it into AI and generate something like this. So this is a publicly traded company. They're another client of mine. And this is a summary of their financial results that I created with AI in about 35 minutes. When I showed it to their team, they said it will take them about a week to generate a report like this with their financial analyst. And I've done it, and this is like multiple pages of great data that's analyzing their financials. Again, they're publicly traded, so their financials are available. And this was all created with a simple conversation with ChatGPT. So that's another thing that you can do. Went in the wrong direction. Qualitative data analysis might be even more interesting. And the reason it's more interesting is because quantitative data analysis, numbers, we analyzed before AI was there, right? Again, there's a dashboard for more or less any platform that you're using, and there is the ability to export as a CSV. And if you're an Excel whiz, or you know somebody who's an Excel whiz, you can do that kind of stuff. But qualitative data analysis was almost impossible. Like the only way to take, I have 16,000 customer reviews on whatever platform, or just to have customer feedback on my own chat platform. How do I analyze what is the main thing that's happening? And we couldn't, unless you could hire McKinsey, which is really, really expensive. Now you can, right? You can literally take the data and upload it to AI and ask, what are the three main things that people are bothered with? What are the three best things that people are saying about me on social media? Here's my channel. And it knows how to do that. And the most interesting thing about qualitative data, so if you think about quantitative data, numbers, they tell you what happened. What they don't tell you is why. We have an increase in traffic. Like, okay, why do we have an increase? Less people are paying for our product. Why are less people? And the way we used to solve this is we got more and more quantitative data that we could analyze, and we used it as proxies to figure out why. But now you can actually know why. You can ask people, and then you can analyze the results at scale without having structured information, which again, something we never had before. You can create really cool product marketing images. So the image on the left is actually a low resolution image straight out of a Google search. And it gave me this. And then I was able in a few prompts to go from this to that as a 4th of July ad for the same product. Pretty cool. When I say a few steps, this is one of the few things I'll actually show you how to do, or not.
Independence Day ad transition.
Continue? No. What? Why am I not logged in? Oh, come on. Never mind. I promise you this is like 4 or 5 prompts, and you go from this to that if you just know what you're doing. Product training and onboarding. So you want to be able to explain your product or your service to other people. And this time, it's a mix of several different tools together, but it allowed me to take information about a company's product and turn it into something like this.
All right, let's dive in. Today, we're tackling D-tools. Specifically, figuring out which D-tool software is the right fit, SI or cloud.
Yeah, that's the question, right?
For sure. And we've got a ton of resources to help us break it down. Product descriptions, tours, testimonials, articles, comparing them.
All the good stuff. So by the end of this deep dive,
this video tells people which software to pick between 2 different options that the same company sells. And it's the same exact pitch that the salespeople of this company has done 1,000 times. And now they don't need to do this anymore because they have a video with 2 really cool good looking individuals that can tell the story with like onboarding and stuff like that on the screen. The other one is creating presentations. How many of you need to create presentations regularly? And regularly could be once a month. Just write in the chat. I just want to see, kind of like gauge how many people, because I can't see most of you. Yeah, I see lots of thumbs up are flying in the screen. How many of you wake up in the morning and say, I need to build a presentation today? Yes, I'm so excited. We hate creating presentations, right? It's horrible. And yet it's like a necessary evil that we need to do all the time. So I stopped creating presentations. Most of my presentations are AI created. Now, to be fair, they're not fully AI created. I use AI for ideation. So this presentation, AI helped me come up with a framework. I use it for the outline. It helps me create the outline. I use it to define what's going to be on each slide, and it helps me create the speaker notes as well, kind of like the little snippets that I have that tells me what I need to say. And it helps me brainstorm images, as I mentioned before, and it actually creates the images. So I don't like tools like Gamma that just do the whole thing for you, because I feel I have a lot less control. But I actually work with it on every single step of the process, and then you can pick whichever tool you want that you have already, whether it's Gemini or Claude or Grok or ChatGPT, it doesn't matter. They all know how to create these kind of presentations. And today, they all know how to get a template and use the template. So the fonts are the right fonts and the colors are the right colors and all that kind of good stuff. Still the best one right now for creating presentations, after you do the ideation and everything, you're like, okay, now go do it, is Claude by a big spread. Which I do every now and then. This one, by the way, if you just want to see a click cool magic, this is a tool called Hunch. And Hunch is like a workflow that you can build to do more or less anything you want, and it can connect all the different AI tools that are out there. And in this particular workflow, there's the presentation best practices, which stay always the same. And this is kind of like my input form. Who's the target audience? What's the presentation goal? What's the topic? And then it runs it through all these different steps, including coming up with ideas, creating the outline, creating the show notes, creating the order of the slides, defining the theme of the graphics, defining the graphics for each of the slides, generating the slides, and then exporting to a PPTX. So it knows how to do all of that while I still have control, because I can jump in and do each and every one of the steps in between. So that's why there's a QR code here. If you want to get to Hunch, that's what Hunch does. Creating dashboards. So many of the tools we use, as I mentioned before, have dashboards. But sometimes these dashboards don't answer the question that we have. I want to know beyond what's on the current dashboard. Sometimes we want to connect the data from more than one source. We have data from customer service, and we have data from sales, and we have data from marketing, and we want to merge it all together. And they live in these different silos, so you can create your own dashboards. And you can do this. And now I just need to find the file. So give me just a second. This has the link. Or it doesn't. Sales something. Go back here. Just a sec. There we go. So I have a CSV file that has data of actual sales numbers, and all you got to do is you got to click on choose file, and then go to demo sales data. And then you bring it in, and then you start the analysis, and then it creates a dashboard. What does that dashboard have? Whatever you want, because all you have to do is prompt it, and it will create the dashboards that you need. And it has filters, so you can choose, I just want to look at Q2, and I just want to look at these two clients, and you click apply, and everything changes with this cool little transition, and it shows you all the companies, and it shows you customers before and after, and the pie chart. If I remove all the filters, then you'll see that there's a lot more companies. It's going to show them and compare them on the pie and stuff. And you can create whatever you want. Like, it doesn't have to be this, but you can create whatever dashboard you need combining data from multiple sources. Let's move on. Meeting summarizations. How many of you still take your own notes when you go to meetings? Many people, probably. I stopped a long time ago. There are many tools out there. I use Fathom, which I believe there's a QR code. Yeah, I use Fathom. Fathom is fantastic. It works on all the different platforms. So whether you are on Google Meet or on Zoom or on Teams, it will join the meeting and it will take notes, and it's really, really powerful. And you can ask it questions on what happened and so on. And I have the entire history of every single meeting I had in the last 2 years or so. And if I go back and I'm like, oh, I need to meet this client, and I don't remember what we talked about 2 months ago because the notes are not clear enough or I can't find the notes, you can just go, and in addition to the notes themselves, you can click on anything that you can see on the screen, and it jumps to that moment in time in the conversation. So you get the full context of exactly what was said that got to this note in the notes. Extremely powerful. And again, I use this all the time for every single meeting that I do. You can go even fancier than that. This does its summaries in one of X ways that it has pre-programmed. But what I have is, let's say I onboard a new client. My clients are talking about their specific training needs. The general summary may not capture the nuances that I need in order to create a proposal, as an example. So I created an automation process that hijacks these meetings with potential clients and then creates a different kind of summary that is with the exact details that I need for whatever it is that I needed. So the fact that I have the recording is not just for the summary it has, is because the fact that I have access to the transcription that now I can do anything I want with. Speaking of which, I don't write my proposals. 100% of my proposals are written by AI. So how does that happen? I take the meetings that I had with the potential clients or the existing clients for a new project, and I don't know if this is a link. It is. So I don't know what's happening to ChatGPT now. But the way it works is I take the transcription from my meetings together with emails that I got from the clients that talk about the scope that we're going to work together, and I drop it into a specific project in ChatGPT, and it creates the proposal. And these are highly detailed, well-defined proposals that are actually better than the proposals that I can write. And the reason they're better is because in addition to the fact they're always structured really well based on my template and knows how to bring the right information, it actually captures the exact pain points that the customer mentions the way they mention it. So it uses their language in the proposal, which I'm just not good enough to do at that level. So it in addition to doing it in 30 seconds instead of 2 hours, that will take me, it actually writes better proposals than I can. Mapping business processes. How many of you, and I can't see your hands, but I'll assume, how many of you have, and again, you can put the thumbs up in the chat, how many of you have processes in your company that only Jill or Joe or Sam or Gina knows how to do? And most people say, well, we do. Yeah, we do. Everybody does. And so what happens if Jill or Gina gets hit by a bus, or they just want to take a vacation? And especially if it's a major process that is something that is critical to the business of that you're doing. And we all have that. So why don't you map the business processes? Because it's a pain in the butt to do that. But now it's not. You can literally have the person doing whatever it is that they're doing, record the screen, or if they're in a warehouse, take their phone and turn on the note and just speak and tell what you're doing. And just do it 3 or 4 times. Just narrate and explain what you're doing as if you're explaining to a new employee. And you dump this into AI. AI knows how to turn this into a perfect SOP. And then you can turn the SOP into a workflow. And then you can turn that into actual tasks in your favorite task platform, whether you're using Notion or Jira or Asana or Monday or ClickUp or any one of those. All of that is very easily possible just by getting the recordings and going through simple prompts and steps in any tool that you want. Creating images based on brand guidelines. So this is, again, an example that I've seen, that I've shown clients of mine that are big brands. And I literally took, and by the way, the original image was AI generated, but then I took the file out of the website of Walmart that has their brand guidelines that they allow their partners to use, and I uploaded and said, okay, now apply these brand guidelines, and it created the image on the left. And then I did the same for Target, and it created the image on the right. And you can see how easy it is to align an entire campaign to whatever brand guidelines you want, as long as the brand guidelines are defined well enough. Lead capture and nurturing. How many of you want more leads and more clients to your business? No thumbs up. Oh, one. Okay, Melissa. Okay, so at least one is gonna. No. Okay, so everybody wants, right, more clients, and that's always tricky. Like, how do I get more clients, and how do I get that to work? So I use Clay, which is, why did it kick me out of everything? I literally tested this before we started. Let's hope this one will actually let me in, though. And yes, I have way too many email addresses. That's what happens when you're running multiple businesses in parallel. Here we go. Awesome. So what this thing does is it scrapes my LinkedIn posts. And every time somebody either comments or likes my posts, it captures their information. So I get their first name, last name, and the post URL, and whether they commented or not. If they commented, also what they commented. And then it starts filtering them by different data that I bring in. Where are they in the world? I only work with clients in Europe and the Americas, just because of time zone and language perspective. So it brings up the country, and then it finds the title. I only am looking for senior people that will actually can make decisions. And then it looks whether they're competitors of mine or not. So if they're like an AI consultant, there's no point in approaching them. And it goes on and on and on, and it filters more and more and more out of the people out of the list. So as we go to the right, there's less and less people on the list. It's, in professional terms, it's called my ICP, my ideal client persona, right? These are the people, the only people out of the hundreds of people that comment and engage with my content on LinkedIn that I actually care to reach out to. And then it writes a personalized approach message to them based on all the information it found in all the previous steps. So there's no one size fits all. Like, literally, you can see a personalized message, and every one of them is different. I saw your engagement on AI topics, and given your pivotal role at blah, 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 it writes a message, and then I can send it to them, and then I can connect with them in a very quote unquote genuine way on a very private level based on what they commented and what they do and so on. So this is just working for me 24/7, 365 for about $400 a month, getting me clients more than I can handle. The tool is called Clay, for those of you who are looking for that. And again, you can do a lot more with it than what I just showed you, but that's how I'm using it. Video editing with AI. So I repurpose all my podcasts and so on to snippets across anything you can imagine. And I do this with a tool called Descript. And what Descript allows you to do, it transcribes your videos and your audio files, and then it creates a quote unquote Word document. And now you can edit the Word document. You can copy and paste segments, and then it creates the video and the audio. Based on that, you can apply a template, so you can turn it into an Instagram post or a LinkedIn post or whatever you want with one click. And it applies whatever you want to apply, and subtitles, all the good stuff, and you're ready to go in seconds without really knowing anything about editing. So this is the script. I've been using it for about 4 years, and it keeps on getting better and better and better. Agentic data analysis. So this takes us to a slightly different level. If you have huge amounts of data, and this data is fake, but it is based on the structure of the data of a really large client of mine. They're a company in the billions of dollars, and they have, when they do financial analysis for project, it's thousands of people across every continent in multiple countries with multiple roles and so on. So the data is about 36 columns wide and a few thousands and sometimes 15,000 rows to evaluate. And they need to go and find a needle in a haystack, right? What's happening in the project? Where are we less profitable than we were a week ago? This kind of stuff. So they have a team of people that works every single day to do different pivot tables and VLOOKUPs and macros to analyze the data. And I just built a set of agents for them that knows how to do the same kind of work. And it generates 3 different very interesting reports. One in an Excel format with multiple tabs, each tab with a different set of analysis. The other one is a Word document with explanation. So it has all the information from here, plus the explanation of what it found and why it thinks it's interesting. And the third is a PowerPoint presentation, which I'm going to show you because it's the coolest one. This PowerPoint presentation has all like an executive summary of everything that it found. And you can see that it looks just like the presentation that I'm giving to you right now, from a look and feel, from a design perspective, because it also knows my brand guidelines. So it created this incredible summary with graphs and charts and graphics and statistics and the important things to pay attention to based on looking at tens of thousands of data points, or maybe hundreds of thousands of data points, and really finding the most important ones to present in a presentation. And I can obviously prompt it to do whatever I want, but that kind of shows you the power of agents that can do things that are way beyond just basic analysis. And by the way, to create this, all I had to do is drop the files in and say, use your tools and go do it. That's it. It's like a one very short prompt because everything is built into the agent themselves. And there's like 16 agents that actually create this thing, but they know how to work together and collaborate and create this kind of analysis. I don't know how many of you are in the architecture world, but this is a very cool example because I have some clients in the smart home and automation and architecture space. So let me show you this. I'll pause it here. This started with an actual real space. This space is a real space. And again, these clients are looking for ideas to pitch to their customers who have a boutique hotel, and they were looking for different ideas. And I've built this process with an automation platform, and now I can actually tell it what style I want, and it can create a whole new version of this entire video with the different segments. And then I glue it together in about 2 seconds, and I have an incredible demonstration that was on the verge of impossible a year ago. Definitely not for, I don't know, $8 worth of, of AI time. I use the same kind of automation platform to generate this. So this house really exists in this real street, and it's just an image out of Google. So I didn't look for something specific. I was just showing an example. This is a design also totally out of Google. And by building an automation process around it, I can now take and show how this building is going to look in lieu of this building if you knock it down and build the other thing. And it's freaking incredible that that's doable, because previously you needed an army of Photoshop people to create something maybe kind of similar to this. And now you can do this with an automated process. I can drop in a new one of these and get this to be done in about 3 minutes. Another really cool example is using AI tools, in this particular case, to go from a sketch on a piece of paper to a marketing video, all in a few seconds. So obviously, this is not me. I cannot sketch that good and not that fast, but this guy obviously knows what he's doing, so he's an architect. And then he takes this and he drops it into an AI tool inside of a standard platform, so like a Revit or an AutoCAD or something like this, and then it knows how to turn his sketch, because there's AI involved, into an actual, and I'll skip this. This is now an actual drawing inside the platform, and it knows how to turn it into a 3D object. But what I did is then I took the 3D object, screenshotted it straight from here, and created this. Now, those of you who don't know these speakers, those guys in the yaks in the crypto thing probably knows them. So this set is, if you go and check it out on their website, is starting at, and I've never seen speakers that start at, like they usually just have price, but they're starting at, drum roll, think in your head on the highest number you can think of, $232,000. Yes, I had the same face you have right now, even though I don't see everybody's faces when I saw this. But I really took something that doesn't exist and turned it into a pretty cool ad. And the whole process took me, I don't know, 45 minutes. And that shows you the power that we have today at our fingertips, just knowing what to do. The tool that I use for this one is called Weavy, and it's the same tool that I use to create the other stuff that I showed you in the last few slides. It's just like a really cool automation platform for visual content. Hooks. How many of you need to generate content? We all need to generate content, right? And so the most important part of the content is the hook. Otherwise, people don't even see the rest of the content, whether it's an email that's the subject line, or a post on social media, or the tagline of your post, and so on. So I generate hooks, and now it's not going to work because it doesn't allow me to get into... Ooh. Yes. Why? Sorry. But I'll explain what it does. So this thing has an automation built on a custom GPT that will allow us to, which has about 800 hooks that I picked up and my team picked up off the internet. And then you tell it what you want to write about, and it gives you 3 options for hooks based on that. So now, instead of me coming up with great hooks, and I'm not that great at coming up with hooks, I get great 3 options, and I can ask for more because it has over 700 options. But it tells me the 3 that will probably suit most for that particular thing that I'm trying to write about. This, by the way, is how Weavy looks like. So that's the tool I talked about before. And in this particular case, I have several different clients in the branded merchandise world. So if you want to put your logo basically on anything, on a t-shirt, on a water bottle, on a cover of your phone, like whatever it is you want to put your logo on, they do all these kind of things. So I built an automation for them where you can take whatever product you want off the internet and whatever logo you want, and the automation runs, and then it creates all these different outputs, and they're all off the same. And I don't know if I can zoom in, I cannot, but they all have the same bottle with the actual logo that is here in whatever kind of different, and it comes out with like 10 different examples on its own that will make sense for that particular product without you having to do anything. So you don't have to tell it what's the product. It understands what the product is because it's AI, and then it knows how to create scenarios that will be relevant and interesting. So that's Weavy again. I think that's the last one. If not, it's one before the last. So we go to trade shows, we go to social events, we go to networking events, and we go there to get connections and get contacts with people. And we end up with 167 business cards, and we remember 4. And everybody has their little trick, right? You write on the back of the card, or if it's a trade show at your booth, you have like a folder and you staple things, or you have a scanner, and all these things never worked. And I've been in this stuff for decades, sadly. I had a lot more hair when I started, but you never remember people. And what I've been doing in the last 2.5 years, and it works like magic, is I open my favorite tool. You can do this in ChatGPT. You can do this in any other tool. I open the app. Inside the app, you can take pictures. So in the app itself, there's like a little camera, and you click on the camera and you take a snapshot of the actual business card. And then you click on the button that is the microphone and say, I don't want you to do anything right now. I just want you to remember the information that I'm giving you and scan the information off the business card. I just met Tamsin, and she's incredible, and she throws these amazing events in the Cayman Islands about AI, and I want to talk to her about potential collaboration and maybe throwing an event together. Remember this information. I will let you know afterwards what to do with it. Boom, done. Takes me about 10 seconds. At the end of the day, and I do them all in the same chat. So the next person I meet is in the same chat. The next person is in the same chat. At the end of the day, I go back to the hotel, and I open my computer, and I open the same chat in ChatGPT, and I have a standard prompt that is in my prompt library that says something like, now take all this information, turn it into a table format, capture all the information from the business card, and tell me what the next action items with that person is, and create an approach email that would be personalized based on what I told you. And then it creates a file that is a CSV file that I upload to my CRM, and I have all the information about every single person that I met in a lot of details while I recorded it in real time with an email that is most likely going to be pretty damn good as a good draft that I can send them as a follow-up from whatever it is that we met. And so this can be done with literally any tool. There's a question, what tools do you suggest for daily admin processes like manual transfer of information between PDF, Excel, blah, 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 blah. So to transfer information between different types of information, there's 2 steps to the process. One is a tool that will know how to analyze that information, and they all know how to do this today. So moving data from one format to the other. All these tools are really good at. The other one is a tool that helps you to automate the process, like make.com or Na10 or Zapier, or choose your poison. There's many different options. And then it knows how to grab the data from wherever the source is, send it to the AI, and then get the output and send it somewhere else without you having to do the work and copy and paste in between. So that's how I would approach it. That's it for the first half that I said is going to be 20 minutes, and it took us almost an hour, but hopefully it was very helpful because we dove into more examples. This is the podcast, by the way, that Tamsin was talking about. So it's called Leveraging AI. It has my ugly face on it. So if you found it, that's me. And then if you want to get the slides that you just went through, then you can scan this QR code. It will take you A, to a place you can put in the thing and get the slides, but B, to a lot of other resources like my course and links to the podcast and other good stuff that I do in my business. So if you want more information, it's all in that page, but you can also get the slides. What we're going to do next is I'm going to stop sharing for a minute, which is...
There's a couple of questions, Isar. Do you want me to
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to say. I'll take a few questions. And I will log into ChatGPT because it's ridiculous what's going on. So you asked the question, I'm listening, and I'm going to log into ChatGPT while we're doing this.
Okay, perfect. So Christina asked, and I apologize, Christina, I don't know which slide we were on. You may have to tell me. She asked, does this allow users to replace using tools such as Power BI and save all the time of manual work? Which slide were we on, Christina?
Probably one of the data analysis ones.
Yes. Thank you so much for taking that question, Tamsin. Isa, that's right. It was on the financial reporting slides.
Yeah, so give me a second. I'm trying to get into ChatGPT and see. Okay, so that's the wrong one, because since then I've done it twice already. 2 more seconds. Sorry. Where is it?
Albert, great question about the avatars. Albert's asking if the HeyGen avatars can make him 5 years younger. It can certainly try.
The answer is yes. The avatar can look whatever you want it to look. I make mine look like me because I want it to look like me, but you can make it look whatever it is. All these tools, by the way, come with a whole library of avatars in different ages and places around the world and so on. So it doesn't have to be an actual real person. You can use one of their pre-built avatars and do it that way.
I have to say, I've been using HeyGen for about two years now, maybe, quite a long time. And it's come on a long way, but it still can't get my Northern British accent. It makes me much posher than I am, which I actually quite like. But
it's not necessarily a bad thing. Any other questions?
So Christina also asked, what agentic tools would you suggest for financial reporting?
So right now, I am completely obsessed with Claude Cowork, and I literally stopped everything in my business, and I'm not taking clients, and I'm not doing. This is literally the only thing on my calendar as far as presentations and speaking gigs and stuff like that. And I'm rebuilding everything in my business using Claude Cowork, really advanced multi-agent orchestration that does stupid, crazy, magical stuff that is science fiction to me. And I've been doing this stuff every single day for the last 3+ years. And it's really, really amazing. And you don't need really any technical skills. Like, you need solid background in AI and to know what you're doing. And you need to understand the processes you're trying to automate very well. But if you know that, you can build whatever you want.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Sorry, Tamsin, if I could go back to the other one. For those dashboards, Isar, the question was, could we just do away with Power BI now? Because that takes a lot of time manually.
So, yes and no, right? And the yes and no has to do with 2 different aspects. Aspect number 1 is from a visual perspective of displaying data that you have in whatever way you want, the answer is absolutely yes.
Okay.
From a data security, connectivity to existing databases in an automated way, the answer is a maybe, depending on how well you implement the tools, how well you keep the data safe, where do you store them, are you using open source models on your environment, are you using closed source? Like now there's a lot of questions to be asked. If the data is not crazy secretive for whatever reason, or sensitive one way or another, then the answer is 100% yes.
Gotcha.
You
Thank
can
you
do
very
stuff
much.
that is way more advanced in seconds.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much.
Sure.
There's just a couple more. So Janine asked, what is your organization method for cataloging all of these projects? Do you mean in terms of all the tools that he uses? I don't know if Janine is still on. We can come back to that one anyway. She may not be on at the moment.
Yeah. Have you
Gina,
ever tried Manus? So yes, I have tried Manus. I also tried GenSpark, which is like the American parallel of it. They're both cool. I find that I can do much more complex, sophisticated, and advanced stuff in Claude Cowork. And so I've played with them multiple times in the past. I think they were really unique when they came out, both Manus and GenSpark. I think now they're just tools that are at least as good as them, without having to go to another platform.
and then Gina just said that obviously AI does an amazing job of process mapping, even suggesting future state improvements. Gina, you could do one of our AI meetups if you're using the tools. Roberta's just asked one as well. Patricia. So
I would love to.
Patricia, is there a package that bundles all of these apps together cost-wise? And how is the data that you input out there in the public, or will it not train on your data?
So good question. The answer is there is no package that does it all. And the other half of the answer is, even if there was, then tomorrow that will change. Like somebody else will come up with something new that it doesn't have. And there are three approaches you can take. Approach number one is saying, I'm going to focus on one tool or two tools that give me the most that I need without having to jump around while saving some money, knowing that you may have to wait X number of weeks or months between some other shiny object coming up with a capability to when your platform will have that capability. Not a bad choice, definitely a cheaper choice. Option number two is to say, I'm going to get some kind of an aggregator tool, and there are many, many out there like that give you access to multiple tools in one tool, and that's my approach, and then I can have access to many of them. Some of them don't have the full capability because they run through the API, and then you miss some of the functionality that exists within the tool itself. So as an example, if you go to a tool that aggregates all the large language models, yes, you will get access to GPT 5.2 and to Gemini and to Grok all in the same package, but you won't have projects because projects live within Claude or within ChatGPT. So you lose some of the functionality of the tools. Option number three is to do what I do, and I'm not saying that's the right approach. I'm just telling you there's many approaches. And I say, does this $20 a month give me more value than $20 a month? The answer for me in each and every one of these cases is 100% yes. And so I don't even think about it. And I pay for, I don't know how many tools. And for Claude, I pay the $200 a month without thinking about it. And not for quotes, so don't show this recording to Anthropic, Tamsin, but I will pay Claude right now $5,000 a month if that's what we charge for what I'm doing right now, because I'm building employees for two different businesses. Each and every one of those employees will cost me $30,000 to $60,000 to $80,000. So if I have to pay $55,000, $60,000 a year to build multiple of those, it's a no-brainer. And so that's my personal approach. I understand different people have different budgeting or data security limitations and so on, which is the other half, like how do you keep your data safe from getting trained on? All the leading models, when you pay, are in their terms and conditions telling you they're not using the data for anything. And if they will get caught using the data, they're done. They're done because there's many other options, and most of the revenue that they're getting comes from enterprises. And if it will be known that they're misusing the data, that's game over. And so I don't think there's a higher risk putting your data in a paid version of Gemini than just using Google Gmail for that matter. It's the same company with the same servers, with the same data security stuff and so on. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you my personal opinion about it.